So today we're talking about Challenge Career in F1 24. And the best way I can describe this mode is that it takes career mode, kind of shrinks it down a little bit into a bite-sized sort of piece of gameplay, and then puts it on an online space for all of us to try. But before we go into the details of this mode, if you guys haven't seen my very in-depth video on the full driver career mode in F1 24, then go check it out. I uploaded it yesterday. It was very thorough, going through all the different new features, the tweaks, and the additions to driver career mode for this year's F1 game. So Challenge Career, it's going to be an entirely new part of the game, like a new mode. It's not like linked into actual normal career mode or anything like that. It's not linked into F1 World or any of that, really. It's kind of its own standalone thing because it's a mixture of single player, but there's that multiplayer aspect because you can be competing asynchronously with players in a curated abstract version of driver career mode. What that basically means is it's watered down a bit to like these smaller scenarios over like 3 different races, and you've got a set objective, and when we all click into the game mode, we've all got that same bit of gameplay. So in that way, like they've done in the past with F1 World scenarios and just, general events, basically, there'll be a leaderboard where you can actually now compare yourself to one another. So yeah, we'll really find out who the real career mode merchants are out there with how you do in this little kind of, challenge career, so to speak. So it's going to be delivered in also time-limited, bite-sized episodes. I'm not sure yet if it's linked to the podium pass, because of course that is for a set limited time. I believe this might be its own sort of timing, basically, but they're basically going to be not there forever. So, the scenarios, the episodes will change every, couple of weeks, I'm assuming, or maybe a month or whatever like that. And each new career challenge is going to have these episodes, which are kind of almost like just race weekends, scenarios to put you in different points of this career, basically, and you can all play it. There's going to be 4 levels of AI difficulty for the players to choose from when you approach this, from easy, normal, challenging to hard. Now, when it comes to how hard actually is, let's say, we did actually ask Cody's on this and press them to kind of expand a little bit, because I think a lot of us found in the story modes, whether it's Breaking Point 1 or Breaking Point 2, those had similar kind of, very basic difficulty, options of easy, normal, and hard, and the hardest one wasn't really that hard if you played the F1 game enough. We did ask them, it kind of seemed like hard, that 4th extra setting, that is going to be a step up from maybe what we've seen in Breaking Point 2, for example, but it may still not be, it's still probably going to be too easy for an esports driver, let's say, or if you do league racing, maybe it'll be, it won't be your cup of tea. But then again, if you're an esports driver or a league racer, I highly doubt you're ever going to bother trying to play Challenge Career because, well, you play multiplayer, you're not really interested in career mode. This is kind of more for those of us who are career mode players, but you want to play it in a slightly different way, if I get kind of a little bit maybe bored with, my normal career, I've still got that going on, but I want just a little flavor of something different, I can jump into Challenge Career. There have been gimmicks like this before in the F1 games, trying to get player interaction, community interaction, scenarios in F1 World just really were not hitting. They just weren't that interesting. The scenarios themselves weren't that great. And then I found, well, although maybe people were playing them, you guys at home, viewers, weren't really that interested in actually tuning in and watching scenario modes from F1 World in comparison to like other content or just bog standard like my team content, for example. Whereas I hope and I reckon Challenge Career could actually be a nice avenue for myself for content, but for you guys all to just playing it, because I think depending on, hopefully, if the scenarios over the episodes are interesting enough, it's actually going to be worthwhile playing it. There might be some cool kind of situations you're in, and I really like the aspect actually of being able to compare to other people and see how you do in a career mode setting, because I always feel and find that playing career mode compared to league racing or online, it's a very different kind of racing. There's kind of a difference in the way you drive maybe versus AI to try and enjoy yourself versus AI racing. You might give AI a lot more room than you would other players because it's a player, so you have to be very ferocious because everyone's kind of going for it. Whereas AI, you play a bit differently in that kind of regard. And then things just happen in career mode that just never happen in online races. Like there are certain things that just don't happen because because, you know, the AI, to be fair to them, sometimes are just a bit dumb, and it makes for some very entertaining moments, or sometimes they're so quick and it makes for some ridiculous moments. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to compare experiences and how we do in that kind of career mode realm, basically. And there's going to be rewards for progressing through. So I assume this will, well, we got shown this will include things like helmet unlocks and stuff like that. So, you know, especially if you're on console, if you want to earn maybe some extra helmets and some cool designs or liveries or whatever, you might want to play Challenge Career as just a way to actually unlock some cool new things to use then in your normal career. We also got told when it comes to the actual scenarios and the new, you know, the new period for the Challenge Career, that possibly there's going to be some community engagement involved with that. So, you know, like, you know, the EA Sports F1 account tweeting out basically, you know, which driver do you want to see in the next live career challenge, basically. And so the community themselves will actually, you know, vote on it and decide. So that can be quite cool, you know, because then, you know, we could kind of all rally together. You know, there's a certain driver that we think could be a cool scenario. I kind of hope they kind of go in more in depth and kind of actually say what the scenario could be rather than just the driver, because then you're just going to play on favorites of, you know, who you want to drive as, basically. In terms of the actual episodes themselves, it's very unclear right now if there's going to be like orchestrated scenarios we have to drive through, or it might simply be like a career mode race weekend, but just 3 of them that have been selected out that season. I really hope there is some sort of mini storyline to each episode, like a blurb that tells us what's going on, the context of the race weekend, and then obviously the context of it compared to all 3 episodes, and what it all means is a mini storyline. Otherwise, it will be a little bit pointless in terms of actually having that, you know, reason to play it away from just rewards and, you know, just playing like one random race weekend of career mode, basically, because you could then technically do that, you know, in a Grand Prix session, basically. So yeah, that's kind of more of kind of a hopeful thing and message to Cody's if they're watching this at all. Really hope that there are actually some stories built into the episodes. You know, the fact they're using the word episode would hope that it's going to be like a story-based sort of like, oh, there's actually going to be some sort of thing we're building up. The actual racing itself's down to us. There's no, like, you know, gimmicks or anything like that. But the context of what we're doing into the race weekend, maybe they start you in a certain qualifying position. You know, maybe they tell you ahead of time what the weather's going to be like so you can try and prepare to react to it. I don't know. Something like that would be quite cool, I hope. But right now, they've been very secretive about what the episodes actually entail. You know, when you look at the screenshots, there's no inkling to what the episode is apart from what the track is. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up on Challenge Career, at least what we know so far. And by the way, I didn't maybe mention it briefly in the video I did about driver career mode yesterday, but when it comes to 2-player career mode, I'll quickly just note that here. 2-player career mode is going to get all the new features from driver career mode. So recognition, you know, the contract system, the driver ratings, all of that, you know, the on-track objectives even. I think all of it is available in 2-player career because they built up 2-player career in the same way they did with driver career. They kind of did it in tandem, basically. So all the features that are in driver career mode will be in 2-player co-op career mode. So you can play with your mates and you can go through, you know, maybe signing long-term contracts, the, you know, recognition play, especially, you know, if you're playing with a mate. The recognition system is going to be brilliant if you're in the same team trying to vie for, you know, where you should take the car. You know, you can take the piss maybe if you know your mate doesn't bother about engine upgrades, but you're going to do them anyway and waste resources that way, or you could actually work as a team properly and try and improve the car. Either way, it's going to create for some really interesting gameplay, I think. But yeah, just a little touch on 2-player career mode in case I can't remember if I exactly stated that in yesterday's in-depth video. But yeah, just a smaller video on Challenge Career. I wanted to give it its own separate thing because I felt like it would have been lost in the entire thing of driver career mode yesterday, so I thought I'd make a separate video today about it. So if you guys have enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button and do let me know. Genuinely, I want to know, as if you're a big career mode player like myself, does Challenge Career pique your interest? Because for me, I'm definitely intrigued, but at the same time, I was intrigued about scenarios in F1 World last year, and then I got really underwhelmed after trying a few. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, if it fails, it's no bother. You know, we've still got a great new driver career mode with a lot of cool new things to play around with compared to the last couple of years where it's been all samey with my team. So, yeah, I mean, if it does end up being quite good, then that's just a bonus, really. But if you're new around here, then be sure to get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.